Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome yet again, guys, to yet another episode where today we're going to be discussing a topic that says that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and that is life. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and that is life. And that is our main topic for today, or our main point of discussion for today. You know, let me give you a scenario and let me give you an example. Let's say there's a farmer. A farmer goes into the field and he decides that, you know what, I am going to plant, I want to harvest at the end of the season. And he goes through all the processes required in order for him to be able to plant on fertile ground. He goes the extra mile, he tilts the land, and he makes sure that in everything that he does, he's always putting his best work up front. And he always makes sure, guys, that he tills the land, he removes the weeds, he makes sure that he gets the finest quality of seeds, because he wants to make sure that when he harvests, or when the season of harvest comes, he is able to harvest bountifully. Right, and he does all these wonderful things. He irrigates the land, he gets all these kind of irrigators upon the land, and he does everything possible for him to be able to harvest in due season. Now, upon doing all of this, and it so happens that all the seeds that the farmer has planted, they start to come up and it looks beautiful. The farmer looks at the field and says, wow, all my hard work is going to pay off. And it goes to the extra point of even being involved in the emotion of being happy. And he says, you know what, surely hard work pays off. And then everything happens, and this beautiful plants start to grow, and these beautiful things that he has planted, they start to grow, and he just can't wait for the season of harvest. And just a month before, he can be able to call in the combiner or the harvester, right, for him to be able to harvest all his crops and everything that he had planted. Suddenly, a hailstorm comes and it beats down every single plant. And I'm telling you guys, this hailstorm beats down every single crop, every single plant that is currently there. It beats down everything to a point that nothing is left, nothing survives this terrible hailstorm, right? And the farmer looks at all of this and says, but why? Why me? Why has this happened to me after I've done everything, after I've put in the work? And he starts to realize that, you know what, this is his fate, and this is the thing that he now has to deal with, and he's left with nothing to harvest come the harvest season. Remember, our topic says that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But one thing that what gives this farmer peace of mind, when he looks at all of these things that has happened, he looks at all of these things and says, you know what? Although I have not managed to harvest as I had planned to harvest, one thing that gives me peace of mind is that I did my due diligence. I made sure that I went the extra mile. I made sure that I went the extra mile in everything that I did. I planted, I did everything. I tilted the land. I made sure that the irrigation systems were proper. I did everything that I possibly can. Although I am sad to the fact that I could not harvest the things that I wanted to harvest, I can have peace of mind knowing very well that I did my very best. And the things that were in my control, I made sure that I did my very best. The lesson I'm trying to bring to you guys is that sometimes in life you win and sometimes you lose. Sometimes, just like the farmer, you might go the extra mile, make sure that you always give your best. You always want to make sure that you're going to harvest the best quality things, and you want to make sure that sometimes you harvest whatever field that you're working in. You make sure that in everything that you do, you work the extra hours. You make sure that in everything that you do, you're always going the extra mile in everything that you do. But remember, sometimes in life you win and sometimes you lose. But here's one thing, guys, that should give you peace of mind. knowing that you went the extra mile, knowing that you did your very best in the things that you had control over, knowing that you didn't leave room for failing, knowing that you made sure that in everything that you did, you gave your best shot. One thing that can then kill you guys is knowing that I did not do my very best. I did not do anything to make sure that I prevent these crops from growing. I did not make any extra effort in making sure that I tilted the land. And that thing would eat up your mind and it will eat you up on the inside, because you know very well that the reason why you are failing is because you didn't do due diligence in everything that you did. You just left it to chance and you didn't do the proper work that you were supposed to do, and you didn't do the things that were in your control. But if you did everything to the best of your ability, these things will give you peace of mind, for you know very well that you did things to the best of your ability, right? And this is the same thing in life, guys. And this is the same message that I'm trying to bring to you today. That remember, in life, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And it's life, guys. And then you have to have that peace of mind to know that I did my very best. Although other circumstances were out of my control, but the things that were in your control, you made sure that you did your very, very best. And that's just the end of our message for today, guys. To remember that sometimes you win despite having put in the extra work. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But one might then say, you know what, so what's the use? I can just plant and then the hailstorm is going to come and damage my field. But here's the trick to all of this, guys. You don't know if the hailstorm is going to come or not. So therefore, you cannot then forsake and say, I'm not going to plant because the hailstorm is going to come either way. You don't know whether the hailstorm is going to come or not. So therefore, what if you decide to say, I am not going to plant and the hailstorm does not come? What are you going to do? You're going to find yourself in such a predicament, and this will lead you to depression. This will lead you to all kinds of mental illnesses, because now you have put yourself in such a bad state, right? So guys, so don't just leave it to chance and say, you know what, probably the rain is going to come and destroy everything. Probably things are just going to come and destroy everything. Even the Bible says in Proverbs, the slothful man says, perhaps I'll meet a lion in the field. I will not go and plant because perhaps there is a lion in the field that is going to come and devour me. And it says that, and the Bible clearly says that the slothful shall not eat. So let us not be lazy as well in our well-doing in everything that we do, but make sure that we give our best and leave everything to God. Things that are not in your control, leave them to God, right? But one thing that will always give you peace of mind is knowing that you did your very, very best. And that's just the end of our message for today, guys. And I hope that may God speak to you in a special way, and may you always be your light in everything that you do. And remember, guys, submit unto the Lord and lean not to your own understanding. Just like the Bible says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Now, until we meet again on the next episode, ciao.